Tropical Storm Mario now showing up off the coast of Southern California and off Santa Barbara. We can see some lightning strikes showing up already off Point Conception, which is right here. And the clouds moving in. You can see some subtropical moisture. Most of it right now is out over the water. This is in the morning. This is, say, 9:30 in the morning on Wednesday, but this moisture is all going to kind of move up into the northern part and central part of California and then up into the Lake Tahoe area where they will see thunderstorms. We'll take a look at the model forecast. We'll look at the cooler weather that's expected to come tomorrow, but in the meantime, this is the weather headline. Tropical Storm Mario never became a hurricane, but has brought a lot of moisture pretty far north. And this is exactly the kind of scenario that when you're CAL FIRE, like how do you defend against the potential for tens, thousands, hundreds of lightning strikes, right? I mean, you don't know. You just don't know. These models will do their best. Subtropical moisture, when it seeps into the system, can be extremely volatile. Not saying that it's going to be the end of the world or anything, but the potential does exist for a lot of lightning strikes and potentially dry lightning strikes, which is not good. The mechanisms aren't helping us out here either. This is a low pressure center in this area. And then you've got this moisture getting sucked into the counterclockwise flow, right? So this thing's spinning counterclockwise, and then this moisture is getting pulled into it. So we'll keep an eye on it. That's the first thing we're going to do this morning is look at the models. We'll look at some of the earmarks of this thing, and then we'll move on with the forecast. This is smoke from the Garnett Fire, which has got over 85% containment now. There is some smoke up around Yosemite in the morning hours, but it's been clearing out. And temperatures generally are going to cool a little bit. So let's go. This will be kind of fun. We can go to this picture. This is over by Rincon. So let me pull up a Rincon, down by Santa Barbara. And this starts off in this morning. And what you're going to see is the sun, as it comes up, you'll see this subtropical moisture starting to filter in to, there it is, see it? And so that's Mario. And that's it showing up in the last few hours. And you can even see some kind of like rain bands going through. Let's come in a little closer. So this is kind of out above, yeah, kind of above Rincon, out by La Conchita. And look at that moisture. So that's a different air mass, right? It came from down around southern Baja. And so that is what we're up against. And you can see already all that vertical development, the potential for thunderstorms, the real deal. What I am seeing is a pretty good amount of precip coming out underneath these weather systems. See that kind of grid? That's some precip. Now, the problem you'll have is as you go further north, that lower layer of the atmosphere is going to be drier. So the potential, you'll still have the convectivity, and you'll still have the precipitation, but it'll evaporate before it hits the ground. Because as you get further north, I mean, temperatures in Redding today are going to be in the 90s, mid 90s, right? It's not going to get that far today, but you get the idea. It's going to have the potential as you go further north to dry out that air mass. So that's the moisture real time coming in. This is the computer model. This is the HRRR. And good morning, by the way. It's one of those stories like it's a big weather story only because, this time of year, Southern California certainly will see thunderstorms, and areas to the east of the Bay Area will see thunderstorms, but it's hard to say how much and how far. So let's take a look at the models. That's the best thing to do. Here's the latest HRRR run high-resolution model. I'm going to back it up, and you'll see those showers, what we're looking at right now, off Point Conception, right in here. And you can see it stays pretty much offshore. This is the model now. This is the forecast, right? So then you see somewhere around this afternoon, so maybe toggle it a little further forward here. There we go. Somewhere around this afternoon, you can see it really loading up offshore, right? Now, it's just a matter when it gets pulled in. See how it's getting pulled? Now it's getting pulled into that low. So it's starting to move kind of a little bit. You're seeing a little bit of an easterly trajectory, but that's how it ends up looking by early tomorrow morning. So now this blob of moisture, right? If that thing shifts 1 degree to the east or to the west, the forecast is completely different. So that's why we are in a bit of flux. So we're going to look at more than one model. We're going to look, that's the HRRR. This is the North American, though not as high a resolution, but still, here we are this afternoon, right? It looks like it's got a little further east, doesn't it? Here we are tomorrow morning. You see thunderstorms down around Calabasas, Santa Barbara, most certainly. Will it be dry? That's the question. There could be some dry lightning for sure this far south, but there might be enough rain that it's not a really volatile event. But as you get further north, you're going to run into more of that dry air. So let's see where we are. That's tomorrow morning, and then you see it. So see how the main crux of this thing. This is Thursday morning, mid-morning. You can see it's getting pulled into that low now. Does that make sense? Remember that low I showed you? It's spinning like this. This guy is getting pushed that way because of this low. Okay. So what we're seeing is this thing. I'll back it up. See, it starts to accelerate to the north and a little bit to the east. And again, if this thing, so there's the Bay Area. So thunderstorms, yes, they will be in the forecast. How much dry lightning will we see remains to be seen. I feel pretty good about the moisture levels in this system just because it just depends how much dry air it hits. I'm not even going to go there, but I think there's going to be a significant amount of rain with these systems. We're already seeing that represented, and then you can see Lake Tahoe on Friday morning gets pretty popped. I don't know. So that's the North American model. We could do. Let's do this. Let's do the. I'm going to duplicate this. Then I'm going to go over to the GFS. I should have just done it the other way. Okay, so this is GFS. And this is their kind of product. GFS is longer range, but I could change it now. But lower resolution. But it's just it's something else to look at to see, okay, how are all these different models resolving this? And here's the moisture. See how it's kind of chunky? Here we are tomorrow morning. Doesn't really, it looks like, yeah, it doesn't really. It's, you know what it is? It's struggling picking up on that, the subtleties of this, the larger grid size, the lower resolution model. So the HRRR and the North American are the first two we looked at. They're pretty similar, but not lockstep. So there's a lot of room, a lot of wiggle room. So here's the rainfall accumulation potential. So you can see it's not much till overnight tonight, a little bit in Santa Barbara, 1/10 of an inch. And then it starts to accumulate 1/10 of an inch in San Francisco on Thursday afternoon. And then you see a 1/2 inch up around Mammoth. And you see the rain. This is accumulation now, 24-hour. So you can kind of see it. Here we are Friday afternoon. So it looks like pretty good rain up in the mountains. So again, am I living and dying by this? No, because we know the next run, I might even update this afternoon, the next model run can be completely different. Here is the excessive rainfall outlook that Los Angeles, the National Weather Service, has put out. It's not, I don't see any flood warnings or flood watches. They're just going, listen, we're going to get some rain here, and this is how the footprint looks on Thursday, right? And here's how the footprint looks on, I believe that's Friday. Yeah, that's Friday. So none of this, they're not really going after a big flood watch or flood warning, but you could see significant rainfall in these events. You're just going, listen, it doesn't rain here much. It does, but not, it's going to be rain, and we don't usually see it this time of year or at this time of day. So, okay, so that's how it looks for the Tropical Storm Mario. Here's how it looks up in the Bay Area. This is the cloud cover. That is Mario working its way north offshore. Those clouds you're actually seeing are subtropical clouds. Here is the fog footprint for Wednesday, and you can see the shallow marine layer. Coastal hills average 1,000 feet. Fog is about 1,000. The depth of that marine layer is about 1,000 feet. Here is This picture tells me so much. I can do a forecast right now for Concord just based on this, right? You can too, time of year. Concord today is going to be 95 degrees, something like that, 97 degrees. Maybe a little warmer. Maybe there's forecast to go 100 degrees today in some places. It'll be interesting to see. But it's going to be a warm one today because of that shallow marine layer. We can look at the profiler and it'll mimic exactly what we looked at. And it travels from here yesterday. Marine layer has just been staying shallow. There's that 1,000-foot mark right there. And that blue line, the top of that blue line is the top of your inversion. I had a question yesterday, which was kind of awesome. Somebody asked me, goes, well, why? Because I usually put the profiler away, the acoustic profiler away. This is forecast for tomorrow, or for today. I put it away in the winter, but he goes, well, why? I go, it's really useful for marine layer depth. And he goes, well, why would you put it away in the winter? You could use it year round. And yes, you can. Yes, you can use it year round, as a matter of fact. And you can pick up inversions. But Fort Ord's the main profiler. I use the acoustic profiler, which is a little further south. It would represent a coastal, it does a nice job representing a coastal weather environment. That's why I use it so much with the fog. But you can use it for inversions in the Salinas Valley, certainly, and inversions even inland. Here are the forecast highs for today. It's warm. You see temperatures forecast to be just below 100 degrees. Shallow inversion, still hot in the inland valleys. And this is the forecast for tomorrow. So cooler, lower temperatures tomorrow by a good 5 to 8 degrees in Sacramento and in the Central Valley. Redding just cools a couple of degrees, but general cooling trend. The thing you'll notice this time of year, which is awesome, is when it's hot, like it'll be today. This is for tomorrow. But when it's hot like it will be for today, the evenings cool off pretty quick because the sun angle is changing. The days are shorter, right? So it's not like in the summer when you hit 110 in the summer, it's 90 degrees at midnight. It's not happening that way. You're hitting it. If you get 100 degrees in Sacramento in the summer, or this time of year, it cools off pretty pleasantly in the evenings because of sun angle and length of day. So here's the GFS vorticity. Upper level support, and we'll clearly, I'm not going to take it out too far, but you can see Mario. See it down here? There's Mario getting sucked in. And you can see it gets sucked in, and then it does something weird. So that gets you through. This is the event, right here. Right there. That whole deal, that's the event. Through Thursday, and then okay. So now you're into almost Friday night. But this guy, which was part of the event, keep your eye on this. So if I back away, see, so that was part of that, got wrapped into it a little bit, kind of broke off. See how it broke off from the main parent low? Are you watching it? It's like the shell game. And then, but look what it does. It cuts off, which means it runs free of the jet stream, which means it's not being steered anymore. But watch what happens here, potentially. See, it develops a closed low, which is volatile and probably has a good amount of that subtropical moisture from Mario wrapped in it. And then you've got this trough, this mean level trough that comes in and almost repeats what's happening right now. And so you'll see it get sucked in and then boom. So that is an interesting thing to me. That is on Monday afternoon and Monday night. And that could be really interesting. And then this area as well too, because you're still dealing with some subtropical moisture. So that's on, Wednesday, or pardon me, what is that? That's Wednesday afternoon. So I had that backwards, didn't I? I did. Sorry about that. This is Tuesday mid-morning and Tuesday afternoon, and then this is Wednesday afternoon. Whew, a lot going on. It's going to be a busy forecast period. This is the Garnett Fire. You can see some smoke coming off of it still. Big fire, over 60,000 acres, 85% containment. There's the smoke, and then you see what happens in the mornings. I got some friends camping up around Yosemite, and they said the smoke's pretty gnarly up there right now. And you can see in the mornings, right? But remember what I said, the sun hits the ground, heats it, air rises, and the smoke starts to clear out. And you're already seeing the smoke starting to come up. But that's an illustration of summer air quality. And one of the things that I think about when I read a lot of California history stuff. And one of the things that I remember most that is fascinating, it makes sense, but the Native Americans used to burn their fields. There was a lot of fire back then, either because of lightning starts like we're looking at now, or just for agricultural purposes, or just lifestyle stuff. But there was smoke. The early explorers, Brewer and Whitney and all those folks, all the people who wrote about it, talk about how smoky California was, especially in the summer and fall months, because you're not putting fires out like this fire. You wouldn't have anybody fighting it. It would just burn. And so there was a lot of smoke. And and then I'll get to it real quick, but before the Spanish came, there weren't this wild oat, this stuff that burns so well. This isn't a good example of wild oat, but that brown grass that grows about waist high, knee high. That wasn't around. That came in on the hooves of the Spanish missionaries' horses back way a long time ago. So prior to that, the California was essentially kind of a fire resistant state, because the native bunch grasses were proliferating, and because they knew that in other words, they adapted, because otherwise you just burn. But then the wild oat came in, and then there you go, the rest is history. I tell that story a lot only because it's amazing how that little small thing changed the course of basically California history, right? Fires, earthquakes, and drought. So here is Lake Tahoe. The smoke's not too bad there. Live picture, Bliss Park. Here's the low, couple lows. There's a low there. There's a low there. There's Mario there. You see it creeping up. A lot of moisture. And you can see what else is going on around the country. Let's take a look. Pretty quiet. Pretty quiet. Offshore waters, they've got some concerns for some thunderstorm activity. That's what those are. But right now, everything's pretty quiet nationally around the country. The dense fog advisory along the coast, that brown area, that was this morning. That'll be dropped this afternoon, I imagine. But the marine layer is so shallow, right? You get that. And then this is the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. A little above, let's just call it near normal. For Central California, a little above normal. So that's just eye candy, right? I like the map. It's kind of fun. And then you can go, oh yeah, that does it match up with the GFS vorticity we looked at, above average. That's interesting because that footprint, this doesn't start until the 22nd of September, so the long range. And it goes through the 26th. But this is nice because that looks like extratropical stuff. It's not bullseye over the Sierra Nevada spine, which would indicate a lot of lightning and thunder and monsoonal moisture. This indicates to me more of a extratropical component. So we'll see what the models are looking at. These are earthquakes all over the planet. And these are the earthquakes. It's live. I pulled this up today. I saw somebody using it. I was going, this is pretty awesome. It's magnitudes in these little boxes. The top box, like right here. Let's see if I can do this. This top box is the last two quakes in this area, 4.9. The original quake was 4.9, and then an aftershock was 4.9. And if I look at it you can see the box changes here. What is this called? Earthquake 3D. Kind of like it, but you can get more boots on the ground. This is USGS. This is all the 1 day magnitude 2 or above. And you can see out here in Nevada, there was what is that bad boy? It's 4 Mile Deep, 3.7 up in Nevada, in that area. But today, no. Now, if I go 7 days, magnitude 2.5, you'll see all the quakes. And most of them, see on the triple point, we talk about this all the time, but that's where the three plates meet: Pacific Plate, North American Plate, and the Juan de Fuca Plate. And that's where bad things happen for all of us, just because it's a Cascadia subduction zone. So that you're always having quakes there. You're also having a lot of quakes, not right now, but the geysers up in Santa Rosa. And then we had a quake here. This was 9:15. and it was a 3.3 out by Clayton. So you just get an idea. I think it's fun and informative to look at that stuff, to just see what's going on. Let's see, wave period, wave height. Let's do wave height. I think that's wave height. I don't know if I like the way that showed up for me. This guy's been acting funny today. Let's see. Let's do wave. We got wave height, wind speed. Okay, wave height. There it is. Thank you. Okay, and this is, you can see where we are. You can watch the hurricanes. You'll see a couple things happen out here. You'll see these spinners. You see that? So you can just kind of get an idea. This is waves, but it certainly correlates to weather. In this case, tropical storm activity. In this case, Aleutian Island storm energy. The storm energy, the same with the hurricanes and the tropical storms, create the wind, which create the swell. So I selfishly, I'm looking at this because I want to see surf, but unselfishly, you can look at it and go, oh yeah, awesome. And you can kind of, it's fun to track the, okay, and that's a ball. Oh, hello. Look at you, brother. What's going on there, man? 33 feet, 15 seconds. Oh, that ain't right. I mean, that's some 34 feet, 15 seconds. That's a big swell. I don't know what the hell's going on there. Let's see. I don't want to get too into the weeds. That's a big swell. That's a really big swell. Huh. Let's track it down. Where'd it come from? It came from, well, that's, it seems like it develops really quickly. That must be, let's go to wind. Yeah, 30. The wind is what, sorry. Sometimes I didn't look at this before we got together. Oh, I see. That's a powerful storm. See that purple? And those flags represent wind direction. And each flag represents 10 knots. So you add them up. And so you have sustained winds of 30 and 40 knots over that area. Huh. Well, let's keep an eye on that. What day was that? Sorry. I was going to say I got to get the day off, but I don't work anymore for that day. That's going to be sick. Thursday the 25th. Okay. All right. Well, look, we just found something. Okay. And then this is Ocean Beach, dense fog advisory for the morning hours. 60-degree water temperature right now, Ocean Beach. Cardiff, fun day, 2 to 3. 70-degree air, 70-degree water. Temperatures along the coast have cooled. This is Mount Shasta. I'm going to go 3 hours just because I love to watch the sun come up. Hope you're hanging in. That Mario thing is going to be interesting, isn't it? You can play along. I mean, load those models up, and every, like the HRRR is updating every hour or so. Boy, no smoke. That's nice. And that's subtropical moisture well to the south of this place. A little bit of wind up there today. Okay. And then we'll go to Whitney. Whitney, we should see, I don't know, that's not that far inland. Yeah, I was going to say we might see some tropical moisture come in, but that swell's big. That's Mavericks, right? I always find the swell size encouraging. This is running through. Temperatures down there will be in the low 100s today, down in Bishop area, or upper 90s, mid 90s, and then further south down towards Mojave in the low 100s. I lost my train of thought. Okay, jellyfish. I had an interesting point too. Look the way they light them. I wonder if the light bugs them, when they light them from beneath like that. A few nature snacks here. I'm moving pretty quick here because I got an appointment I got to make today. Venice Beach. I just could people watch here all day. All day. Can't be fat at Venice Beach. Can I say that? I just don't think you can be. It's just a hard place to be a couple pounds over. Just because everybody's hustling. Look at this. I mean, it's interesting. Oh, just got a carved board. He's got his frisbee dog too. He's crushing. He's got it all going on. How do I know the dog's with the guy? Yellow frisbee bag, yellow frisbee dog. This guy's awesome. He came to play. Great dog too. And I know, right? You're just like, what are you doing, Bill? The Mario thing, I'm gonna commercial. The Mario thing, I'm gonna probably do an update this afternoon or tomorrow or early tomorrow morning. The bears, this was earlier. This is a highlight reel. This is back in July when the sockeye were hammering. These are brown bears, and the bears were there. Now you go up to current time, and it looks like that. All you got left are, let me see, I can go all the way through here. Yeah, that's right now. You can see, you won't even see fish really. They're in here. You'll see every once in a while you'll see something flopping around. That's the fish, sadly, that couldn't get up to the spawning grounds, or who already spawned, and then are just there goes one drifting downstream. Bears are slowing down, so keep an eye on Mario. Mario's day to day, and don't buy it if you hear, especially today, you're going to hear stuff, and now you know. So when that conversation comes up, you can go, listen. We looked at 3 models, technically 4. And right now it's in flux. The guaranteed thunderstorms in California, wet or dry. That's really the play here, isn't it? Because thunderstorms in California, that's cool. If it rains a bunch, awesome. The rain will be awesome. Fun to have a thunderstorm, and you're not getting fire stars. But if it's dry lightning, because of some dry air that slides in that is unforeseen right now by yours truly or you or the National Weather Service, some dry air slips in that lower layer, it turns into dry lightning pretty easily. It's a pretty juicy layer though, isn't it? And it looks like it has the potential to really produce some significant rain. So you will keep our eyes open. I'll see you back here. Maybe tonight. I'll see you back here.